we all have intuition because we have a gut instinct. And I explain this to people a lot, is your gut instinct, when people get that gut feeling, that is your body giving you a physical sign to listen to that. So your intuition's saying, don't go down that alleyway, all of that kind of, but it's like fear. You think it's fear, but it's not. When you get a gut instinct, because you've not listened to that, your body's like, I need to give you a physical feeling to listen to like replicate what I'm telling you. And that's why we have a gut feeling.
And welcome to Self-Discovery in Good Company. It's Stace and and we've got a special guest with us today. I'll let you introduce.
Oh, we are in really good company today. It is such a pleasure to have one of my amazing friends and awesome spiritual practitioner, psychic medium and manifestation coach, Craig! Yay! Known as Craig's Oracle on Instagram, isn't that?
Correct, or anything else you want to call me, just as long as it's not offensive.
We'll call you anything else. You're bloody brilliant. And we are so excited to have you. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this. I know that we've wanted it for ages. Mm-hmm. And then when I was speaking to you recently, I was like, Craig, please do the podcast for us.
And you messaged me and I was buzzing. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, when? Like, I'll cancel plans. I'll put my child somewhere else. Like, I'll make this happen.
I know. So we are so buzzing to have you, because I feel like the last couple of episodes we've been like doing like, you know, proper like coaching, like work stuff. And it's been a while since we've done the woo-woo. So I am so excited to do the woo-woo. So thank you for coming on.
Well, when you asked me about it, I was like, absolutely, because for me, it's quite a new experience. I've only done one podcast before this one, which was from my friend Justin, and I was like, actually, do you know what? I think I can't preach to people to say, come out of your comfort zone and do things you wouldn't normally do if I'm not going to do it myself. So I was like, I'm just going to do it. And the amount of time they used to have team calls and stuff in my old job, it's exactly the same thing. It's just that it's on the internet. Instead of in an office.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
Wow. No, it's awesome. It's awesome to have you. And we're really excited to get started.
Yeah. So we're just going to dive straight in.
We are going to dive straight in with I think we're kind of going to break it down into two parts. We're going to speak about the spiritual mediumship to start with, and then we're going to go into manifestation, because we know that that's such an amazing hot topic that we'll probably ramble on for ages about. But I have a specific love for everything spiritual and psychic medium. This is how I actually came to be really good friends with Craig, because it's a couple of years ago now. Stars aligned. I found you on Instagram.
Did you just find him randomly?
No, he was put there.
I mean, obviously, yes, he was put there.
I can see, babe, I can't remember who. I think somebody must have shared what I did, and then you popped up, and then I think it was at a point where my following was just starting to go whoop, and I think you got me just before it really went, and I started getting a bit like, this is actually an actual business. Like, I could really do this as a business. So you've been there from day dot, like right at the start.
I know. So you could say I've been there from the word go.
OG.
Yeah. Day one, baby. So yeah, Craig is for me so many times in the space of a couple of years. And he's also, he doesn't do this for everyone, but like, you know, if I've ever got an issue, I'm just on the old voice note and I'm like, Craig, tell me what to do. And he has. So
I remember, do you remember, so Stacey's like, you need to go see Craig. You need to get a message Craig. So I messaged, and because he's amazing, there was a wait list of like a month or something. And I was like, that's fine. And you'll talk much better about the way that you do it than me, but it's your voice notes. And so I was like, that's fine. I went on a really bad date and I was so low and I was crying and I was like, Stacey, it's not even the fact of him. I don't even like him. I was like, I'm just so sick of this. And like within like 10, 15 minutes, Craig's like, hi, I'm going to do your reading tomorrow. I was like, is this the universe, Stacey? Or is this you? Or is this both?
Could have been a bit of both, babe, to be fair.
Yeah,
but
I like to think that.
not what you know is who you know.
Definitely got bumped and needed it.
So, and I feel like that I have now. You've read for my mum.
No, but your mate.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
I would have thought
you've read
it.
for her mate. Like you probably don't.
Read for my Pilates instructor and her partner.
I just feel like we just spread the word completely about how amazing you are. So you've got this like pocket in Aberdeen, Scotland, because you're obviously based in Sheffield, aren't you?
Yeah. So
I mean,
at the
you've
moment,
got this like you've got this little pocket up here where it's like all your analytics must be like, there's that peak in Aberdeen, and I like to take full credit for that.
do you know what? It's literally all over because of what I do and how I work. It just means I can cover anywhere, really. There isn't anywhere I can't cover. And actually, interestingly, I don't know if you were going to ask this question or not, but I'll explain it now. Somebody once said to me, if you're channeling someone who speaks a different language, how do you hear it? And I said, I hear it in English because I translate it into English. So, for instance, if somebody was trying to get in contact with, I don't know, it could be like an Italian-born granddad and he only speaks Italian, I don't hear it in Italian to English. I hear it in my own voice, but as theirs, if that makes sense. Can't explain it. So, but I know it's them that's saying it. I know it's not me because when I do a reading, I forget half the things I've said. And someone will come back to me and say, could be a month later, oh, you told me about such and such, and I'll go, and I'm thinking, I haven't got time to listen back to that 30-minute reading. And I just take the judgment and I go, oh, I did. Yeah, because I go into like a trance when I'm doing it that I forget what I just, because I'm free flowing with it, I just let it take over and I meditate before and after. So I have to close that off. So I send your voice messages and that's it. Then I'm done then because I have to, if I don't close that down, then I just keep getting more and more and more. Yeah. So it's a bit like I have to hang the phone up. So I do that with my meditation.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, just to give you a little recap. So Craig can read for anyone anywhere because you do it as these 30-minute voice notes, which I flippin' love. It's like my own
I love listening back.
little podcast. Flippin' love it. And it is so good. So yeah, anyone who listens, you don't need to be based in Sheffield. You don't need to be anywhere near there. You can be anywhere. So just that was a good point, a little segue to let people know that they can just get in touch with you anytime. So
also as well, I keep getting told a lot that my voice is very relaxing on a voice note. So people listen to my voice messages before bed and I send them to sleep. So it's 2 for 1. You get a reading and ASMR. That's really popular. So
it's very relaxing. It's very, and the way that you speak, you're so personable, and the way that you like speak to people, and you feel like, I know it's a message for you, but you feel like you're actually speaking to you. Because I've had people say like, oh, on a voice note, like how can they do it on a voice note? And I was like, well, it's actually, you could perceive it to be harder on a voice note, because I've had people that have had readings before, and I've maybe had some, and you felt like you've been asked questions and you try and not give anything away. You're like, oh, so you've got a daughter, and you're like, like, whereas you don't know anything about these people, that you're just literally a phone number is what you have.
And to be honest, that's how I prefer it a lot of the time. And this is why not to sound facetious, but if somebody follows me on Instagram and they book a reading, I generally won't follow that person's account back straight away because I don't want to know anything. And when people come to me through WhatsApp or anything like that, I don't even add the number to my WhatsApp contacts, because once I've added it, their picture will show up, and sometimes I don't want anything, because it could be like a picture of a man and a woman on the wedding day. I don't even want to know if they're married. I'd much rather it just be completely like blank. So it spares the cold reading, and there's a lot of cold readers out there that they might see someone wearing a wedding ring in person and go, I'm sensing commitment around you. And then they could go, oh, commitment issues, because that person's come for a reading. There's obviously something in their life that's not working out. So that's an easy sell to go for someone's relationship. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a bit,
yours is, it just comes across so like friendly from the word go.
It does.
So, like it does just feel like you're
Do
listening.
you not have a thing in the background as well that you play?
Yes, so I will put on relaxing music, but that is a continuation of what I listen to when I meditate. So I have a good. It depends. It depends what I'm going to do. So if I'm doing a mediumship's literally, this is not even a joke. I don't bang readings out every day. I just can't do it. And I think anybody that knocks readings out like 10 a day is very unethical because they're just about money. So yes, I run a business, but I also want to help people. So the mediumship ones, I have to space them out. So I once did a day of mediumship and I think I did 4 readings. And I was like, I need to have a lay down. And I thought, I'll have a nap. I woke up 3 hours later because it takes that much energy and it really does tire me out. So doing readings, I don't think, and this is why it's good to educate people, I don't think they appreciate the energy that goes into it and the preparation for me before and after, which obviously no one sees that, but it's still for me to give the best because people are coming to me with really deep personal problems. They might have lost someone, they might be going through a really bad marriage, or they might be worrying about the kid or whatever. I don't want to just go flicking cards and going, yeah, things look like they're a bit crappy at the minute, but they'll get better. And then that's it, and then move on, because that won't help anybody. And also, there's no point in saying to someone, what I like to do is preventative. So if I pick up, for instance, I don't know, I could say, oh, looks like you're going to have quite a nasty fall on this flight of stairs on this. And I can picture it and I'm like, avoid it. Because if you avoid it, or you keep your wits about you, that person will go, oh, I'm sure I remember something about that. And then that's where you can prevent it. So I think a lot of readers, sometimes they want to be really blunt. They want to be like, oh, I can see you breaking your back or whatever. Just because I think the more shocking it is, the more legitimate it seems to the client. I don't work like that because I don't see there's any value in scaring people. There's no value in giving people tools and not showing them what to do with it. It's like, what's the point? So
I love that.
It's so authentic. I love it so much. So,
So I'm laughing at Stace. If you're not watching it and you're listening, Stace and I are together, and we're honestly like our heads are edge. We're on the edge of our seats, like we're so on
every single word that you were saying. I am never this excited about anything. I'm so excited about this. So, I mean, I suppose I want to go right back to the start. I want to know, how did you even come to have this insane gift? Like, how old were you?
So I probably, that I'm aware of, it would have been primary school. So, well, no, so you're talking infant. So infant junior school, as we call it, it's primary school. Mm-hmm. And I would go to like stately homes, or I remember going to a place called Gainsborough Castle near where it's about 20 minutes from where I live. And because I loved art, obviously I was a designer for 13 years, we used to get to draw the castle and you'd sit with your little wooden boards and drawing away. And I remember the teacher coming up to me and he said, oh, interesting, those people that you've drawn in the window, who are they? And I went, the people that were in the window. And he was like, but they were in like suits of armor and stuff and like period clothing. And I was like, but they were there. And he went, right, okay. And then I went on another school trip, and I spoke about this in a previous podcast where I think it was at the Isle of Wight or Filey or something, and it had got an exhibition of like Tudor costumes. And again, I remember saying to a teacher, oh, that was fantastic, because obviously I loved costumes and clothing. And he was like, okay. And I went, when that lady walked through with the dress on, it was absolutely beautiful, the detail. And he went, what? And I think that's when I thought, people don't see what I see. And I think I must have been about 6 or 7. And I realized they don't see the same things that I do, or to the level that I do, that maybe they've shut themselves off. But the thing is, we all have intuition because, we have a gut instinct. And I explain this to people a lot, is And I had a lot of gut feelings when I was younger, and then I'd see things and I'd go, it's not normal. But people would say to me, did it not scare you? But the thing is, a child's born, well, if they're fortunate enough, a child's born with sight, sound, smell, taste, all of the senses that you normally have. What I see and what I pick up on is another sense. So how can it scare me if I was born with it and I already knew it from an early age? It doesn't scare me. The only thing that scares me is if I'm just walking somewhere and then all of a sudden I turn around and I see someone physically in front of me and then they just disappear like that, because that's when I know that that was a spirit and not a real person. It happens all the time. If I go to like stately homes and stuff, it happens a lot. I've got a really good stately home story, actually, if you want to know that one.
I do. Always.
So there's a place near where I live, and I know someone that volunteers there, and she was talking to a friend and he said, would you mind? And I was like, here we go. He said, would you mind coming to this part of the house? He says, no public have ever been there. There's nothing on the internet about it. There's zilch, nothing, nada. I thought, like, okay, fair enough. So there was a staircase and I said, oh, I said, I don't like this. I said, whoever this is, whoever this room's leading to, didn't own the house. It was someone who thought they did. So he used to stomp his weight around. He was like the chief officer of the main person that owned the house, but he treated staff and especially women abysmally. Like, as you can imagine, he very much mistreated women. And I said, it makes me feel really, I said, spirit don't scare me. I said, but I feel, if I was a woman, I'd feel nervous walking up that staircase. And he went, okay. So he says, let's go up it then. And I went into it and it was a bedroom. There was a 4-poster bed. And I was like, okay, where's the secret door? I said, there's another room that leads off this. And I said, whoever it is does not want me in here. It feels very cold. The temperature's dropped. This is not a nice energy. He's very abusive. He's very misogynistic. He's not a nice guy. And I said, the workers underneath could hear him when they'd hear his footsteps and know we need to get back to work or whatever, scared of them. And he went, well, this happens with the secret room, and pulled this curtain back and he went, that's it. And he says, nobody knows about that. Nobody knows. You could not have known any of that because it's not publicized anywhere. It's not out in the whatever, the internet and the world, whatever. He said there's been books written about this whole house and it's never been written about. He said, so I don't know how you got that. And I was like, well... So he said to me, well, we do ghost tours. I went, no, I'm not doing that.
Oh, that's wild.
There was another time as well. I went to this stately home because they were playing Woman in Black, like it was for Halloween and stuff. And I was sat with my friend and I said, can you smell bleach? And she went, no. And I went, and I'm sat there like that. And she went, what are you doing? I went, how can you not smell that? I went, do you not realise how strong that is? I went, it's giving me a headache. And she went, I literally don't know what you're smelling. Anyway, I've come to realise now that's my body, my intuition's way of telling me when it's a bad spirit, when there's a negative spirit. It almost smells like bleach, chloroform, really chemically and like strong. So it's not nice. It's not a nice smell. And when I get that, I'm like, no, I'm not doing that reading.
Have you had that before where you've been like,
I've refused the reading. Yeah, I've refused a few readings before, but only because I don't necessarily like the energy of the person that's booked in, and I'm not ashamed to say that, because I've had people come to me before who have said, I don't really believe in this, but I'm open to anything. And I'm like, right, well, with all due respect, it's not my job to prove anything to anybody. Yeah. So with full respect, I won't be doing it, because it's almost like it's like walking up to a surgeon and saying, go on then, perform heart surgery. And it's like, I'm in Asda. Go on. Like, prove it to me. So I'm not a people pleasing kind of, oh, pick me. I've never been that kind of a person. So I don't have to prove to anybody. And I'm really direct. I'm really firm. So I'm just like, I'm good. I want to help the ones that will really benefit from it, that are interested.
And people so benefit from it.
Oh,
yeah.
1,000,000%. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes. So you've been doing it for a young age, but you've only been doing it full time for, is it 3 years that you've been doing
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, babe, 3 years in June.
Which is crazy. So what did you do? Like, obviously, I know that you like worked in design and things like that, but did you just do bits and pieces for people? Was it just for friends that you'd kind of do it? Or did you even do it like when you were working and studying? And
To be honest, so cute story. When I was about 14, I moved from one city to another because my granddad wasn't well. We had to move to look after him. And I remember I used to lie to my mum and my dad and say, I'm just going to my friend's house. I had no friends in my secondary school. Nobody would be my friend. So I was like, whatever. I used to seriously, no, honestly, I used to have to go home at lunch, have lunch with my dad, him take me back to school for my afternoon. I had no friends because I moved in year 10, so nobody wanted to know me. Their mistake. So I used to say, oh, I'm going to a friend's house, and I wouldn't. I'd get the bus all the way to this village that I grew up in, because they used to have like what we call an esoteric store, so like a new age shop. And I'd buy cards, I'd buy spell books because I'd do all witchcraft as well. And I'd then go to the library in the next town, take books out and then take it home. And I was really private with it. So no one knew I was doing it. And then I did a reading, and I kept seeing my granddad going down really, really quickly. And he did, and basically everything that I saw happened, and I thought I caused it by doing a reading, and I stopped for years because I thought I've just caused that. I've just lost my granddad. So bit of trauma. And then I decided I'll start doing it again during, I think I was at college, and someone said, oh, I like tarot and stuff. And I was like, oh, I do a little bit of that. And we did bits and bobs. And a friend I grew up with at my old school, her dad was very interested in it. So we used to read for each other. And then I'll be honest and say, I just used to keep it for me. It was like, oh, this job, this guy, this. And the guys always turned out to be assholes, but I still went with it, and I went against my cards, but whatever.
Listen to my own advice.
I was like, deaf. I still did it.
I always joke that like if you're the more self-aware, because I would like to think I'm quite self-aware, the more self-aware you are, the worse it is sometimes, because you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that or whatever. But it must be like it's a next level if you could even feel the energy of that person and you're like, well, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was mostly just a bit of a thing that I did every so often. I never thought I'd do it as a business. And then during lockdown, I put a post. I did a spread of cards of a deck, and I said, comment which image you feel drawn to. And I was like, wow, okay, there's quite a lot of people that are commenting on this, and I were getting messages on Instagram, Facebook Messenger, and I was like, interesting. And I thought, oh, I'm a bit overwhelmed with that, like, because it just was a bit too much. And then I started doing sort of like mini readings for like friends and friends of friends and stuff during lockdown, because let's be honest, we all needed it. And then I started working. I got made redundant during COVID, but then I started a new job, which is the one in Manchester. So I was designing full time, and then I honestly, because it's been that long, I can't remember how it happened, but I just ended up doing a reading for this influencer. And then she posted about me, and it was like, my Instagram just went up, and I was like, what have I done? And then I started doing more, and then I started picking up more influencers, and then the odd celebrity, and then they'd lead me to that one and drop my name into that person. And it just became a business, and I've been doing it for, it'd be 3 years next month.
Wow. And like, we'll blow your trumpet, but you have like, obviously there's a lot of client confidentiality, and I know you take that very seriously, but you have read for like very impressive people.
Oh, you have.
You have.
Whenever like somebody shares you on a story, like I'm replying, I'm like, oh my God.
You did. I think I remember you did that when Rylan posted about me, when Rita Ora posted about me. And I was like, all in a day's work. They are so lovely. But for me, the way I distinguish it is I just see everybody as someone that needs a bit of advice, regardless of whether they work in, you know, a freezer shop or they're like a big superstar like pop singer. Like everybody's the same. Everyone's looking for advice somewhere. And to be honest, I think because it snowballed that quick, I don't have time to think, oh my God, I've just done a reading for such and such, because I want to give them the best service possible without any of that coming into it. So I'm quite I've always been quite unfazed anyway by it, but I'm so unfazed by somebody could say to me, Queen Camilla wants to read, and I'd be like, cool, I'll book her in next week, put her in at 10 o'clock. It wouldn't faze me because I probably wouldn't, to be fair, but I'd be like, or it's that kind of, some people, I don't think I'd want to read for that's a lot of pressure. Lot of pressure.
You could read for some of the politicians and things and be like, come on, let's sort this shit out.
Imagine, I'd be like, I'm seeing you making a peace deal. I'm seeing you upping the national living wage. I can see it. I can see you dropping the VAT and tax on clothing and food because it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm seeing a recession.
Yeah.
Caused by you again.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, that is brilliant.
You spoke a little bit before about like the preparation that goes into it, because you are like, as somebody who's had many readings, like you can tell what goes into it when you receive it. But so beforehand, you meditate.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've never been very good at meditating. What does this involve? What are you doing?
So for me, meditation is just about clearing not only my own headspace, but the energy around me. So for instance, if I have to do a reading where I remain completely non-ambiguous. So for instance, if somebody came to me and I was picking up, they're in an abusive relationship, I need to really help this person. Because I've been in two, I have to remove my personal element of it, which is why I'd meditate. Because I'm like, okay, personal connection, I can put that to one side. I can just read that person and their situation. Of course, I can interject and say, I personally would but it's up to you. Take it like a pinch of salt. But I have to remove my expectations of wanting to just say to someone, just do this. Yeah. I have to go with what, because I absolutely, somebody could say to me, oh, this guy who keeps ghosting me, but he keeps pulling me back in. Like, I'd be like, okay, you need to block that person. But I could be looking at the cards and go, oh God, she's really deeply ingrained. He's really deeply ingrained in this and this and this. And it's not as easy. So that's why I have to do the meditation to clear my own head and just go, right, okay. And then that's where I said I go into like a meditative state when I do the reading. So the minute I lay down that first card, I'm like, it's because people can't see it. It is actually crazy because my eyes are going like that. They're going all over, and I'm like, and I've you. I'm like, it's like a truffle hunting pig. But it's
you're having
just,
a trance.
Yeah, and it's worked for me because I'm glad I can't remember half the things that I say, because that would be a lot for me to retain. I honestly would say in 3 years, I've probably done thousands of readings. My memory can't retain all that. Like, I only just remember to pack like my car keys in my bag when I'm going out for the day. So I can't be thinking about, when Deborah had that reading 3 years ago, I wonder if she's all right. Like I can't, I will check in, and I have spoke about this before, that because I genuinely care about my clients, aren't just clients, my clients are my friends. So I categorize them as well. So if I do a reading for someone and I say, okay, she's not in a good spot, I'll go, okay, she's a red. So that means I need to check in on her maybe this time next week. This one's an amber. This one's a bit, she could probably, or he could probably tackle it, but I might just give it a couple of weeks and just drop a message. And then if someone's green, I'm like, okay, they've really taken on board what I've said. They can just they can come back to me whenever they need it. But this is what people don't see. So when people say, oh, you're expensive, I think, well, I'm not here to justify myself to anybody. I don't need to. I know what my time's worth. But also they don't see that there's a lot of my time that's being given away for free. And I will always do that because people have created a business for me. So why would I not want to give back? Like, you've got to give something back to receive back.
Oh, do you know what? That's a lovely little segue into the manifestation, surely. Surely, with what you just said there, you've got to give back in what you will receive, because that is kind of what manifestation is, isn't it? And so, as well as being a psychic medium, you're a manifestation coach. I can attest to this. I have read the book. It's all good. So maybe if we kind of move on to the thing is, we could sit here literally till like midnight and listen to everything you have to say. But your time is precious. So I think maybe into the old manifestation bit. So when did you come to, Stacey and I obviously been into it for a while, but when did you come to know it? Because it obviously feels like it's a bit of a buzzword. Everyone is manifesting. Everyone is doing this now,
Trendy.
right?
Yeah.
Very, very trendy.
It was like word of the year last year or the year before or
Oh my
something.
God, was it? That's mad. Like, so when did you kind of first start to explore manifestation?
So I think the first time that I actively, because we all manifest every day anyway. How many people wake up on a Monday morning and go, oh, God, Monday again? Because they're so worried about work or something that they think they can't change, when actually you can hand your notice in and get another job. People make life as hard as they want to make it. It's as simple as that. I've been exactly in the same position, trudging over the same old thing. The first time I thought, maybe I'm partially responsible for this, was I'd graduated university with my degree in fashion. And I don't know why, probably delusion. I thought I'd just get a job like that. I thought one would just appear. Where's the job? So I ended up working in retail and ended up working in retail management. And I remember I used to stand on that shop floor every day. And don't get me wrong, I had some really good days, babes. But some days I was like, I'm a failed designer. If I was going to be a designer, I would be by now. I'm obviously not that shit hot. Nobody really wants me. I'm just going to be here forever. I'll retire here. I can't imagine working until I'm 65. And this one day, I don't know why it was, and I just thought, no, I need to stop doing that because I've got a degree. So clearly I did something right because I got a degree. And that was the minute I must have actively manifested and not realised what it was. And I had a shift at work and I thought, actually, that wasn't that bad. But you know what? I'm not going to be here forever. I'm not going to be here forever because I've got an opportunity coming. I can feel it. Now, a girl who had previously worked on because I did like a sandwich placement at uni, I worked with this really amazing girl called Lisa. And I was actually the week before going to reach out to her and say, hey, babe, I know it's a bit cheeky, but do you know of any design jobs going? I didn't. Because I thought, well, I'll just check in with her and see how she is first and, like pleasantries and whatnot. And then I went on my dinner break when I was working in my old retail job, and somebody said, oh, a girl's just been in to see you. I went, oh, my sister. No, not your sister. I'm thinking, racking my head, and said she's got like curly blonde hair, like big on top, like in a bobble. And I'm thinking, I don't know who that is. And I said, just please describe a little bit more of her. Anyway, it wasn't until the penny dropped and I was like, oh my God, it was Lisa. So she messaged me and said, I'm really sorry I missed you today, but I just wondered, are you interested in a design assistant's job? Because a job's just come up at our work and we really want you to interview for it. And I was like, yes. And I ended up becoming a fantastic team that I work with. And I actually found out that Lisa had said to our then boss, you just need to take him on because you don't even need to interview him. But they did interview me for 2 interviews to make it, they got
Fair.
to follow protocol and make it fair. Yeah. And I got the job and I was there for 6.5 years and it was the best 6.5 years of my life. I got to live in Hong Kong through that job. Like all of these things happened because I said, I'm not a failed designer. It's just not been my time. And honestly, I think if I hadn't have had that moment of inspiration to go, no, I'm not a failure. I've got my degree. I can design. I probably would still have been stuck there tickling coat hangers.
That's amazing.
Oh, cool.
Can I ask a question actually? So not similar in a way, I had this day where I dreamed about this woman and then I was in like 3 work meetings and someone had mentioned this woman that I used to work with, didn't work with now. And I was like, that is so strange because like I hadn't seen her in years, like 5 years or something. Hadn't seen her. I had a dream about her and then she was mentioned 3 times that day. And I was like, I just need to reach out to her. There's some reason why I need to reach out to her. So anyway, I sent her a message. I was like, you've come up a lot. I dreamt about you last night. Really good friends, like good friendly with her, get on really well. And I was like, just feel like we need to catch up. Let me know if you want to get a coffee. And she was like, actually, that's so funny because I've been thinking about you. And we've got this opportunity coming up at work and I think you'd be great for it. So she ended up being my first client.
Wow.
So is that manifestation or is that a bit of like intuition, psychic, what is that? What would you describe it?
So for me, that's a little bit of when we talk about raising our vibration,
Yeah.
you have to put yourself into a state of receivership. So you obviously in that moment intuitively said, I am drawn to this person. So that was the universe's way of saying, you need to get in contact with this person because actually you probably at that point was manifesting, I just want that first client. I just want this and I want to have my own business and da-da-da-da. So the universe has gone, okay, I don't normally do this, but let me give you the gift of your, intuitive side, really listen to it. And that's why it kept firing it because you thought, I've dreamt about her. And then it was like, it's latched onto your vibration. So it's gone, I'm going to make you think about her again, And this happens when, for instance, you're so deeply connected to your own intuition and your own mind that you can think, I need to text Kerry. And then all of a sudden Kerry will go, I'm just about to text you. And you'll see the 3 bobbing up. It's because we create these like tethers all the time. Sometimes it can get broken, but that for me, I think, was a byproduct of your manifestation. But then the universe has aligned it and thought, that's the right opportunity for you. It's that person. That's what's happened there.
Love that. Blooming love it.
Because you've had things like that too.
Oh, I feel like I have that all the time.
Yeah.
And I just blooming love when it happens. It just gives me a little shiver.
It's like the best, literally the best feeling.
It's the best. I have a question that I really find difficult to verbalize. So, manifestation, amazing, great. You can have whatever you want in the universe. Put in your Amazon order. Just gotta wait. Yada yada yada. But the universe has a master plan for you. If your plan is already written and set, how can we manifest things for something that's already,
if it's already
set in your life?
Do you mean, for instance, like children or marriage, if you wanted to change that? Or I think there's certain things that
people always speak, oh, well, the universe has a plan. Like, this is what your plan is. And you just kind of go with it. But what if you are trying to manifest something that's not in your plan? Like, would you ever be able to manifest that?
I feel like you can do, because for me personally, we create our own luck, we create our own opportunities. There is nothing else that is sort of like set in stone. Yeah, obviously, if you have kids, you've got kids. You can't manifest them away, and you wouldn't want to. But for instance, like, but anything is possible. If the biggest part of manifestation where people go wrong is they don't detach from it. They don't have that belief, and that is the hardest bit. The hardest bit is going, I'm just going to leave it, and I'm just going to, because it's a little bit like if you went to, let's say you go to Taco Bell or somewhere else for food, McDonald's, wherever, you walk up and you order things, you get a receipt. You don't keep walking up to the counter every 2 seconds. Where's my food? Where's my food? Where's it? Because eventually that person behind the till is going to go, do you know what? You can get right to back. You're actually really annoying me. The universe gets like that if you start to challenge it and go, well, where is it? Okay, well, if you order something off Amazon, you have to wait a couple of days or a day. Like, the problem with human beings is we think everything's quick. We expect things quick. We're very entitled in that respect, and we have to stop doing it, because when we just detach, it'll be the right time, So again, a really good example of how manifestation works, and I freaked my friend out the other day, like proper freaked her out, is I've rejoined the gym that she works at, known her for years. And I said, hey, babe, I'm just walking down. How much money do I need to bring, like cash? Because you pay two months, then a direct debit. So I drew £50 out cash back at a supermarket near me. And she replied back, and I was like, she put, it's £48 plus £10. And I went, oh, I've only got 50 quid. I went, I'm literally steps away. Have you got £10? I'll borrow that and I'll just bank transfer it to you. She went, yeah, it's fine, but honestly, it's a tenner, don't worry. So I'm sat there and I'm going, my banking app won't work. I'm going to get you that £10 back. And she went, no, honestly, it's fine. It's £10. Don't stress about it. You did my wedding makeup. It's fine. Don't worry. And I said, no, that's your money. That could be the difference between you putting petrol in your car to get to work. That's your money. I will get you that £10 back. Today I'll get you that £10 back. So we walked down to the office to get my key card to get it activated. And we're walking back and I looked down and saw a £10 note folded up. I went, here's your £10. And she went, where have you got that from? I went, just found it on the floor. That's your £10. And she went,
oh my God.
And I went, I told you I would get you your £10 back no matter what. And I said, there's your £10. And it was a fresh £10 note folded up. I just noticed it on the floor and I just went, oh.
I've had things like that before that you're saying with the app, where like I've tried to book a ticket, a hotel, whatever, and it's not worked. And then within like a few hours, I'm like, oh, actually, I don't want to do that. Actually, I can't go to that anymore or whatever. I do think there's something in that. I've definitely had that before. So like your app wasn't working because actually universe like, oh, I'm going to throw a tenner on the ground.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
To basically say, here's an opportunity to show that it actually does work, you know, and it did. It really freaked my friend out. And I messaged her when I got home and I said, he's still freaked out. I got your money back. And she went, yeah, I am actually. She went, I need to learn how to do that. I need to do that.
Oh, I just love that. So how do you support people as a manifestation coach? Like, is it, because I actually think I love it, because I didn't really know you did this that much, because I think it's a nice link with the mediumship, because people, as you say, often go to mediumship because they need support, they need help. And I think that's such a nice way that you're able to then help them with it as well. Because as we're saying, like, manifestation is not close your eyes, cross your fingers and think a Range Rover is going to land up in your driveway. Like, there's a lot more to it than that. So exactly. I love the like linkage of it. I think it's gorgeous.
So how it works with that is I would have a call with someone and say, okay, what is it that obviously I'd send them my manual that I created. And I'd say, what is it that you are wanting to, and some people want to just read it, that's fine, do their own thing. There's enough information there to just go along and do it yourself. But if somebody wants that step up, I'll say, what do you want to achieve? Like, let's be realistic, with something to begin with, because there's no point saying you want to be, a Hollywood actor in 2 weeks. Come on now, we need to start off small. Let's work out, okay, you want to be an actor. So let's give you something that can be identifiable as you've brought that in yourself. So it's about visualizing, feeling it, sensing it. What you want to do is get a taster. So I would expect within that first week, you get a self-tape or an audition or a casting call, or you get a sign to go, oh, okay, that's leading to that and that. And maybe I need to follow that agency on Instagram, or maybe I need to, it's all working towards something bigger. But again, it's the ego side of us that we're not patient enough. So I teach people how to shut that down. And also, most people have this ideology that you have to work really hard to earn money. No, nobody has to work hard, as in
a story for a different episode, Stacey.
it's like no one does have to work hard. You just have to work smarter, and working smarter is having that belief of, okay, I'm good at what I do, so I help people to see what they're great at, and then I will say, okay, I want to give you examples of where things in your life are going right. Why is that? And they'll go, that's because your energy towards that, it's totally a profound feeling of, you feel completely secure in that, the love for your children, for instance. So that you have something constant in your life, whether you've got a relationship that's messing up or not, you've got a constant source of love and, infinite love. So focus on that when you're manifesting a partnering, because what you want to do is replicate that with your child, but in a partner. So he's trying to show people that actually you're not lacking anything, you're just looking in the wrong place, and you need to look where you've got something there and then build on that, rather than going, never meet anyone, never going to meet anyone. These apps are a waste of time. And I'm like, okay, give me a break, because that sort of an attitude won't get you anything. It will just be defeatist, victim. I'm just, this poor innocent person that just gets shat on all the time. Therefore, the universe is like, okay, then I'm not here to prove you wrong. I'm here to give you what you said you are. Yeah. So intentions and words are really profound. So we have to be really careful about what we're saying and what we're feeding.
Yeah. I'm like, I couldn't agree with any of that more.
Yeah.
And I think as well, because when I've started my business, it's been I kept seeing something fractional. And I was like, what is this fractional? And then I went and looked into it, and now I've got 3 fractional clients from it. And it's been a big part of my business. Or someone had a conversation with someone in the office, and they were like, do you know such and such? And I was like, no, I've not met them. And obviously I'm trying to grow my network. I was like, no, I've not actually met them. Go on LinkedIn. They're the first person on my feed. 10 minutes later, I'm like, right, I need to go and speak to that person. So it's it's listening into your intuition and noticing what's around you to help drive that manifestation, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, correct. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people, for instance, I get it, because I've not been in the best relationships. I've had some real bad ones. But if I was to relay that every time someone tried to get close to me, or I tried to put myself out there, I'm not ready at that point. And there is actually no point in me doing it, because all I'm doing is I'm just bringing in someone who will waste my time, have the similar traits of the person that mistreated me, financially, emotionally, physically. They would mistreat me the exact same way, because I'm not healed from it. You'll never be over experiences, of course not. But, I don't think we take enough personal responsibility sometimes to go, I need to be the one that ends that. I need to end that cycle, because no one's going to do it for me. And in doing so and saying, okay, I need to just go put a pin in that. I'm done with that now. I think I punished myself enough for that. That's when you feel lighter and go, okay, I think I'm actually ready to date. I'm actually ready to meet someone. I'm excited, rather than going boredom.
Yeah.
And you'll attract in I believe you'll attract the level that you're vibrating at. So if you're feeling rubbish about things, that's likely that what's going to come in. Yeah. But when you're in it, it's so difficult to be just let go. You've said that's what you want. Just release it. It's so difficult. But I know countless stories about actually when you do, and when you value yourself more, and when you love yourself more, whatever it is, and you release it and you don't worry about it and think about it all the time, that's when it actually happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's the coolest thing you've ever helped someone manifest?
Well, I actually helped a client to manifest a job that they really, really wanted. It was a job on TV, and I got them to, I didn't get them the job. They got themselves the job, but it was through coaching and me saying, no, you've got this, this, and that happened. So when I got a phone call, I was like, yeah, babe, I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked.
Oh, that's so cool.
So yeah, but
That's
there's
so cool.
quite a few. There's quite a few, and like that with my friend the other day, like something like that. It's just super simple, and it's just something really small, like £10. Like start off
Yeah.
small. That could be a master builder for something much bigger for someone.
So just to kind of round off, because I mean, Stacey and I could sit and chat to you all night.
And by the way, I'm definitely booking another reading soon. I just want to hear your voice
I
again.
haven't even told
I know.
you about my latest career one.
You told me like the tiniest part. You're like, I'm collecting the boys' pajamas. So I've just managed to listen to a tiny bit of it. Oh my God, it's so accurate. So accurate. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I listened to like 8 minutes and I was like, oh my God, 8 minutes.
I was like, where's the pajamas? Stacey's like,
hanging out in the toilet, like trying to listen to this. So you have, and I have to tell you all about it.
yes, and I'll get one.
Good.
So anyway, we could speak to you all night.
Speak to you all night. But if you had to just kind of give somebody who is new to manifestation, obviously we flipping love it and we devour anything that is to do with it. But if it is like brand new to people, because it is brand new to a lot of people, and a lot of people might be thinking, I can't do that. How on earth would I do that? What is the one thing that you would say to them to kind of start thinking about, noticing, working on, like the very most basic kind of piece of advice, like starting point for them?
I think, in all honesty, the best thing to be able to manifest is self-belief, because if you don't believe in yourself and you don't believe in your capabilities, you don't believe in things that you're great at, completely detached from the things you're trying to manifest. For instance, if you think, I'm really struggling as a mom, I'm not the best mom, we need to remove that, because when you're saying, actually, I'm just trying my best, I've got a bit of a tricky situation, but I'm trying my best, I'm actually an amazing mum considering the circumstances, that's self-belief, because you're believing in yourself as being an amazing mum. Then that means that when you want to manifest anything, it goes back to that pot of, well, actually, if I can do this, which is one of the hardest jobs in the world, then surely I can make my circumstances change. I'm doing this every day anyway, so why don't I just help it along? So I'd say the big thing is self-belief and confidence, because if you don't have that, it's a bit like you're just shooting your shot into the wilderness, and there's nothing, you're not going to pick it up anywhere, unfortunately.
Like it's never going to be, you really have to get that. No, I believe this. Like, I believe I can do this. That would make total sense.
You listening to that, Steph?
I know. It's just me and my blood career. I do have to have that, of course. But that is amazing advice. As always, you're just like a wise old owl, aren't you? Like a sage. That's what we love about you. How can people get in touch with you, Craig? How can they?
So the best way is to message my Instagram, which is at Craig's Oracle. So people usually message me on there. I'm quite old school. I don't mind a DM. It's totally fine. Usually people, if they come referred, they can come to me through WhatsApp, but only if I've done a reader for someone and they ask permission first. The main way to get through to me is through that. But I appreciate not many people have social media. In terms of, certain generation don't have it. So they can always just come through someone else that does, or, I don't mind. Or carrier pigeon, or cup and string, or thoughts.
You'll just know.
I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up somewhere.
Oh, thank you so much.
This is everything I've hoped it would be and more.
It's been amazing.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh no, we're just totally delighted to have you. Totally buzzing. Now we're way to go and manifest some things.
It always gives me like a renewed sense of like, because I love it, I believe it. I think I don't think about it now because I just do it in a way, but I always get then excited now I want to go and do more meditations. Now you're saying to them, I'm like, I need to do that a bit more.
I like visualizing. That's like my favorite thing to do. Put my red light mask on and have a visualize.
Well, babe, we know that you did all of that because when I was there with you when you were trying to manifest something very big in your life, which you ended up getting two of. And
Careful, you wish for.
exactly, you were visualizing really hard. You were
You're a
like,
super manifester.
I actually am a Superman.
exactly. So this is the point that I'm trying to make. You made that happen.
Mm-hmm.
You made that happen. So there's no reason for you to not make anything else happen. If you remember that
I'm
feeling
like
of making it.
emotional. I'm gonna cry.
But it's true though. Like if you imagine that feeling of, when you just at a point where you're going, do you know what? This is my shot. I'm just going to visualize it. I'm just going to hold space for it. I'm going to hold it there and there. I'm going to make it happen. And it happened. And I remember when you messaged me and I was like, excuse me. And honestly, I was so happy. And that's how I get it, like multiplies. So when somebody, manifests something by working alongside me, it gets me excited, and then it keeps passing that energy back. It's like ping ponging back all the time. So, and it's quite nice when you can have someone to go, oh my gosh, guess what I did? I managed to do this. It's quite nice. It's nice to have that.
Oh, babe, I love you so bloody much.
That's so true. And do you know what I think's funny is this? You I know you believe that there's a plan, and like the plan's the plan, but you have everything you have manifest. There's nothing that you next is your career stuff. You've manifested everything on your list.
I know.
I know. It's your self-belief.
You need to go back and check that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah. Check in with yourself and have a little look. Even just manifest really silly little things just to prove you can do it.
Yeah.
Might not necessarily be anything major. Just, I don't know, find fiver or whatever. I don't know.
Love that. Oh, honestly, this has been ace.
I love that.
I'm feeling so G'd up. I won't be able to sleep tonight.
Oh, well, if you need anything else, just let me know.
Oh, you're a star. Thank you, gorgeous.
You're welcome, babe.
And thank you for listening. And yeah, we'll put Craig's details on all of our social media and posts and things like that as well. And we would love if you do connect with Craig and have like an amazing reading, things, let us know as well, because there's nothing that excites us.
Yeah. Give me the highlights.
Thank you. Thanks, Craig.
Oh, thanks, babe.
Bye.